Hello and welcome back to Game 2, where Echo Fox are a game up over Clutch, and we will have to see if Clutch can really come back. They're getting on the blue side for Game 2, and Game 1 really didn't show any room where they found a way in back on Echo Fox's defense, or for that matter, offense.
Yeah, and it's going to be really interesting as well, because if you think back to the TSM versus Echo Fox set that went 5 games and TSM took it 3-2, Echo Fox played blue side all 5 games. That was Echo Fox's 6th blue side game in a row. So the first time we're going to be seeing them on red side on 8-16. So I wonder what their priorities are, if they're going to hide the counter pick for Huni, and what they're going to do with the later part of their drafts for red side, because a lot of people are of the opinion that blue side is stronger now, or red side is stronger,
right.
because the must bans of like Kindred plus Aatrox fell to the wayside. Now it's kind of only Akali. And getting those hands warmed up.
No wonder he's so good.
NA mids.
Hand warmers of deception. He's a Syndra player. He should be good with his hands. Be able to cycle all of those orbs.
Actually, that's a very underappreciated skill. Whenever I talk to people about Syndra, they just are like, oh, she's point on somebody, press R, and they die. But there's actually some pretty intricate range things with her balls, because you have to like hit, you can cast it while moving, right? So if you cast outside of your range, you will move up to that range and then stop and cast it. And that's how you tell the difference between a good Syndra player and somebody who's actually really great at the champion, because they will move and then they will maximum range click where the ball can go and keep their movement going at the same time.
Oh, snap. Oh, it's all one fluid motion where it should be balked by the end of that range. Okay.
Yeah, because if you click outside of your maximum range, it forces her to move to cast it. And then when she starts casting it, she roots herself during that, right?
Basically just look like somebody chasing into a brush when you're attacking.
Yeah,
like,
basically.
I'm stopped.
Or like any other spell cast in the game where like Rise walks up and then throws his E, right? He roots himself for that.
Yeah.
But she can cast her balls while moving. So if you cast in the maximum range, then you'll be able to just throw it in that spot, keep your movement going. It's kind of like a blink dagger, right? It's better if you can. You have to learn the maximum range of that thing, or else it punishes you.
Oh, man. It'd be funny if we had items to push each other around and stuff like that.
Yep.
Azir will be taken away from Febiven. No more Shelly tricks in games. Also, one of his strong champions. I feel like Febiven should be back on something that can carry the game. Remember, wins in their best of series came from him on things like LeBlanc, impact play champions. So we'll see what they can get his hands on here on blue side. Kaisa Kindred, along with that Akali, Azir. Well, they're keeping it very alphabetical here.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit concerned that there was a Kindred ban.
There could be an Aatrox over there.
From Clutch as well, though, because...
Karis?
Oh, no. Yeah, no, not all K's there for Clutch Gaming. But the Kindred ban is curious, because you could first pick that champion unless you're afraid of them picking Gragas.
Yeah.
Like, what does Clutch Gaming have in mind? Is it Urgot? Is that going to get banned away here by Echo Fox? Because Urgot is flex pickable. Unsealed Spellbook goes to multiple lanes. If that's not banned out, Rakan is another one. So now they're saying if you pick Urgot, Xayah Rakan will probably go over to Echo Fox. I think it might be Urgot. There you go.
Crazy. Think Febiven takes it?
It's Febiven or solo, depending on the matchup.
Right. Yeah, I was putting you on the spot.
And, wait. What?
So the Ashe is taken for Lost here. They banned out what Apollo played, or they took what Apollo played, because banned out is the Kaisa and the Varus.
Yes, Xayah Rakan here.
So Xayah Rakan, yeah, I was reading my mind, sir. Okay, we'll see what they have. Could have a mid, could have a top. That's flex for Echo Fox, so they have to consider. Echo Fox has their jungler and an AD. And it looks like Clutch Gaming actually feel like being pinched on AD might be okay. They'll match jungler with Camille. So LirA actually gets something he can be aggressive on.
So I guess the worry is if they go Xayah Rakan, then Ashe will have the Tahm Kench picked next, and that'll protect her from Xayah Rakan. But I still feel like Apollo, and especially Hakuho on those champions, have been quite good. So a little bit unexpected. The Camille is also flex pickable to the jungle and to the top. And then there's the Xayah anyway.
It's interesting that the Rakan falls out of that as much as he was like the main portion of it. in all of it. I actually thought Thresh could be something that comes in here, having Hakuho play that, and Smoothie, and it's definitely safety for somebody like Ashe that cannot get away from these situations.
Ooh.
Right now, they may lock in that mid lane, though. Damonte, 5 seconds left to take priority of that last pick in phase 1, and it goes over to Smoothie's Braum at the last moment.
Okay, the Braum is actually quite good against the Xayah because you'll block the feather pass through.
True.
And then you'll be able to stop. You won't make it so that the feathers go through you and then they're behind your teammates, and then the pull back will happen in front of Braum instead of behind him. You can also block her ultimate too. So good usage there. Kind of almost as effective against like a Twitch with the spray and pray. Same type of concept there. And there's the Rakan ban that you would expect from Echo Fox to go out so they don't have the lovers duo in the bottom lane, which is something that I'm very curious as to why Clutch Gaming drafted the Camille there. I don't feel like Camille was a champion that was going to get contested. It was not picked or banned in the last series or last game. So we'll see if it works out for them though, and if the Xayah itself is the champion that will be able to prosper alone.
The Chain Warden is imprisoned himself.
Unlucky.
That is unlucky indeed. Huni, his most played taken away in that rumble.
Yeah, but you don't want to give Hakuho Thresh, so.
No, you don't.
And
No,
there's-
you don't. Actually, they take away 2 good ones from Huni there. He has the Mundo up there still, Gnar. Renekton actually has 3 plays in the top lane for Huni. We saw a little bit of that throughout the season. What is it for phase 2?
So I feel like, I feel like you go with a standard mage mid here, Cassio or Ryze or Orianna. And if you were going to pick your top, you would go Sion. But we'll see, because they want to know where the Urgot is going. Because Urgot plays both top and mid right now. It's the first time we're seeing it in the NALCS, but if you've been watching the LCK, LPL, or other regions, it's been very prevalent throughout their playoffs because of the fact that you can take Unsealed Spellbook, you can take Ignite in the lane, you can take Exhaust, heal, teleport, cycle through it.
Yep.
He bullies almost all other laners without having to take Airy or Comet, so he gets kind of this extra firepower from having an extra summoner spell. And he'll win the matchups much like a Jace does, right? And he builds Gargoyle Stoneplate after his Black Cleaver, and he'll be able to use the Gargoyle Stoneplate, which does not reduce the damage of his ultimate, which is just an execute. So somebody below that 25% HP threshold, you just instantly obliterate them while you're tanky.
Yep. Fear Beyond Death. One of the ultimates in our game that actually alters the screen you're looking at because it's so terrifying.
Oh yeah, the chains just clamping on. And is this a top lane Cassiopeia?
It might actually be a top Cass. Huni, we know him to play these versatile things, and that's what I said before. Huni's not a guy to kind of shift to the meta. Huni shifts to what would be outside the box even more. And we're going to go ahead and get that Cassiopeia. 20 seconds on the clock is the last moment that teams can switch, so they all have a chance to adjust to each other. Players know this, and it looks like we might just be locked in for our comps.
And Huni, playing the Cassiopeia, he has played 3 Cassiopeia games in his career, and I'm pretty sure a lot of North Americans will remember one of those games in particular, the top lane Cassiopeia up against TSM. People said Huni tilted them because it countered the Gnar pick, and they were tilted for that entire tournament afterwards. We'll see what he's able to do here, back with his carry pants on, not on the Ornn, looking to take it to solo in the top lane on that Urgot.
Oh, the carry pants for this is so interesting, though. The playstyle, you think of Huni as dive in, dive out, not slither around and deal damage.
I think slither in, stay in. That's kind of Huni's MO there. If he belonged to a house in Harry Potter, he'd be slither in, because that's what he's going to be doing this game.
Gosh.
Man, like, I'm so excited.
I need a 5-minute break.
Because he's the guy who comes up with those counter picks top lane. I remember talking to him back when it was Quinn top lane, and he was like, oh yeah, just play Annie into it. I was like, play Annie into it? He's like, he experiments with everything. He's like, oh, Renekton counters Aatrox top. He'll try everything, and when he finds success with it, he's going to stick with it until somebody proves him wrong.
I love that, because that mentality almost doesn't even take into consideration everything else on the map. You're just like, oh, this is good into it. Learn to play around it.
Yep, play for lane, win game.
Hey, that's how you play a support. That's why you take Ignite all the time. Smoothie, what are you doing with Exhaust? I see that.
He's got the Unsealed Spellbook. He can swap it around.
Okay. Gotta check.
And Solo has it as well?
Yeah, he does, of course.
No, so go ahead.
We will see where they decide to start off here. Echo Fox was very, very aggressive in the beginning of the last game, blowing LirA's flash on the Gragas right away. Here, just a ward, a little bit of vision can provide all they need, though. Same little back and forth here as it's mirrored. Oh, don't leave each other. That's the whole point of the buddy system. Oh, but Huni didn't actually know. He would have actually taken a bit more damage as he stayed in the fight. So the ward going down could have given CG an upper hand.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Wait, LirA says hookshot first. Thank you.
Is anybody going to dedicate a flash? Well, I mean, does he have enough mana to actually kill him?
Ooh.
I think he's dead.
No. Oh, he gets purged. Oh, it doesn't matter. He takes W first and still goes down. Huni, first blood, 2 games in a row.
I think he got him with the corrupting potion there. Just the final tick of it hits him down with a little auto. Yeah, this is an auto attack. A little snake right there.
So LirA's forced to take hookshot to start. Solo takes purge, W to start in the top side. Another interesting start, and I'd say great for Echo Fox in those terms. Let's see it all over again.
Yeah, he just starts going, okay, Solo is the target immediately. He doesn't waste any mana on LirA. He's like, he can get over walls. Stays in front of him. Looks like he gets hooked up there. The axe, the undertow from Dardoch, doing some work there to slow him. Another one, and then flash E, and there's the little snake. Snake in his knee.
Smile. You know that it's like, yes, this is going our way immediately.
It's got to feel good to have Huni back, because throughout the entire season, this was on record Huni's worst regular season to date and his worst playoff finish to date. Because this guy was known for smashing the regular season and then having kind of subpar playoffs. Then he went to Korea. They won. He ended up playing in the World Finals. And then it was like, is this a new Huni coming out? Had another great regular season. And then this was his worst one, his worst split that he has ever had. And now he started off this series on the right foot, and it's looking like Huni of old.
And look how much pressure he draws already. Flash down for LirA as they go for the extended hook shot to get into that, hoping the red buff would proc Huni enough into the gank and be successful. It'll just be a scuttle to the top side. Vision is all there for Clutch Gaming. So, I'm sorry, not for Clutch. Those are Echo Fox's wards, so they're going to need to get a little bit on the top side of that map. That means they have vision of LirA. Dardoch can make some informed choices now.
Yep, and Dardoch definitely ahead in the experience game, and he's going to get that Scuttle Crab on the bottom side, restore a lot of his mana, but hold on, LirA's actually checking him right now. If LirA gets it, LirA got it.
Ooh, cheeky play by LirA. Smited in, 1-2 chains. They're going to try to knock Dardoch out of his jungle just for a little bit longer. Probably not a full kill to come down if LirA had that flash from the other side. They're still going hard. Ignite goes down with the autos as they think LirA can get a burn down as well, but that is going to be Dardoch staying alive.
I'm 100% sure that he just got saved by the fact that he has that nullifying orb rune. It absorbed enough magic damage there that he would have died otherwise. And double taunt from Hakuho.
More fights. Hakuho getting a nice taunt in, is lost in Smoothie. Look for a little space here. LirA in once again with hookshot, and man, is he hungry to get back a kill from the start of this game.
They picked up that Camille very early on, and we were saying maybe that should have been a Xayah Recon, but they say, well, he's gotten multiple flashes across the map. Look at this Huni actually catching
Solo
it. No
getting
mana,
himself
though.
stuck. Disdain throws back Huni as he gets himself in a better position. Solo now on the way out, and it doesn't look like the door is going to hit him. Dardoch, one more undertow, does get it to connect. He has no help, and yeah, Solo's flash is down, and he will also fall. Huni, actually, Dardoch picks that one up as they both have a kill and assist now.
And that was really close. Solo, if he was able to actually reach Huni or deal any damage to him after that point, he might have been able to actually get 1 kill, maybe 2, because he had no mana. Huni has nothing in the tank right here. Solo was just kind of contesting, and Huni's out. He's got nothing left, right? So Solo throws him around, doesn't get enough of the shotgun knees off, and now Dardoch is chasing him down, gets the slow onto him, but then not able to return enough damage here onto Dardoch or Huni to actually kill either of them, but get both of them very low.
If only his knees were a little stronger.
I got some weak knees, man. That hits home.
The patella piercers. 5 minutes on the clock. Oh my word, just sinking fangs into the backside of Solo. That stings. First corrupting potion charged down, and he will be just swigging those back according to what has happened so far here. 41-30, just 5.5 minutes in as Huni will now control top lane. I wonder how much Dardoch will actually continue to visit or spread pressure around the map.
I feel like he wants to go towards that bottom side, get that Drake, but Huni doesn't have much in the way of vision control to actually help him push. He has some wards, actually. Actually, you know what? I take that back. He actually has adequate vision control, more than enough. Let's see, root there onto Damonte.
The 3v1, Damonte, okay, you might have wanted to turn back for a quick second there and taunt some damage away, but he knows. He's like, you can't fool me.
Oh, the cannon minion, get it. There you go.
Boom, AoE slam.
Yeah, sometimes it moves right when you throw the Q, and it dodges better than some of your enemies. But I like this counter pick from Huni in the top lane. I want to look into it a little bit more as the game progresses. Dardoch's force him out, making sure that he can pick up this ward and contest that area. But I want to talk more about that Cassiopeia top, because that's the big thing here. It's 1-0-1, 100% KP with alongside Dardoch, but in concept, it works very well against the Urgot. Urgot's biggest killing tool was that he hits you with his Q and slows you, but you take phase rush on the Cassiopeia. You slither around. You can prevent him from using his E with the gap closer if you ground him. So he can't actually grab you, put you behind him, and then you can just shred him down. And once you have phase rush, you get out of his W so that he actually is just slowing himself. Because once you get out of that range and he can't really attack anything, then he's just self-slowing at that point. So it's actually a really clever pick here, and I think it'll work out up against this Urgot, especially with what happened early.
Easily able to charge that tier up on top side now. And as much as I said, it's kind of not to dive in and do crazy things. Huni flashes in to get first blood under a turret, level 1.
And Solo played it well,
makes
too.
me eat crow. He did, yeah. Solo did everything he could to get away from 3 people charging at him.
The W level up for the shield, the flash away. That made Huni do a double take where he was like, oh, he's dead, walks away slightly. And then it's like the shield comes up. He instantly responded instead of just let it happen. That's knowing your damage. That's knowing your limits exactly. And now you can see Dardoch actually opposite side of the map, going towards that top side, cleared out a ward, I believe, and just took the enemy blue buff away. So Dardoch looking for a triple buff in the second half of the respawns, because he was able to have a pretty good early game, get to level 6 here, and playing off of the fact that they have so much vision control across the map. I was just going to say on the top side in the river, but they actually just have full-on river control. They can see Camille, they can see LirA at that red buff. I don't believe LirA knows that his blue is taken yet, so he'll end up checking it, and he'll be very disappointed as Dardoch goes from blue to blue.
Looking at Damonte and other mid laners, he is one of the ones that wards more. So props to him. A lot of times mid laners don't like to buy too many of those. They rely on resources around them so they can stay in lane, focus on items, hit those spikes quickly. Buy your wards, kids.
Yeah, buy your wards.
Eat your crust, buy your wards.
Eat your crust. Crust is... it's just empty calories, man. I actually just heard the saying for the first time yesterday. Eat your crust so you can grow taller. I had never heard that before.
Coffee stunts your growth.
Yeah. Oh, here comes LirA with the Shen.
Stand united they will. Freeze the crowd to the top side. Huni nicely getting himself to a quick situation with Petrifying Gaze, but it's not going to be enough. He goes down, but they're able to take down Apollo at the same time. Back and forth, the kills are coming in. Dardoch comes in now with Ragnarok on. He's going for solo. Reckless Swings comes down as he's on the Febiven now. Healing as well, and he might stay alive in this endeavor, but he goes down as Febiven distorts the safety to get themselves out of the play. 4-3 overall on the scoreboard.
And that was a great play pretty much across the board there. And Echo Fox, they end up getting that bottom turret, the kill onto the Apollo, because of the fact that Hakuho just leaves him, because he uses Standing 9 to go to the opposite side of the map to make a play, and they're still able to make something happen on the bottom side here. The Ashe arrow goes out. It actually looks like he blocks it, but right here, we'll see, that was a great ulti flash, but he still got hit by LirA's stun, so he's not able to make it out. Just picked up by the Urgot ultimate there, and that's where Dardoch comes in. LirA has to get away, and then Solo, don't believe he survives that one. Hakuho flashes away, but Solo saves his flash for another day. And on the bottom side, I believe he throws the arrow, and Apollo blocks it. So that is being an absolute bro there. Gets the pull back, but that is so much dedicated to him. That is flash, exhaust, Ashe arrow to try and make that happen.
Man, kills across the map, Solo. He's just kind of sitting in the spot where you'd get a good idea of what's coming around the corner, but have safety and movement. So a quick cleanup under the turret here as Huni plays Janitor. 90 to 81, CS closing in for a solo. Much better game for him. Even though he's died 3 times, I feel like he's going to be able to put up a bit more of an impact factor in this one.
It's like, it's easy. It's easier to have a better game than the last one. He's not 0-3. He's 1-3-1. So it's definitely an improvement. Not much said about that.
Not much, but he'll have that core item maybe when the team needs it.
Yeah, and he's not up against the tank that's actually smashing him, so the tank will be better in team fights as well. And that's kind of the thing I'm looking at here for Echo Fox is they made this composition with damage in mind. They have a physical damage jungler, they have a physical damage in the bot lane, but then they have a mage top, and then they have their tank mid who also brings some magic damage to the table. So overall, it's kind of still a 2-tank composition, or counting Braum as like a half and Olaf as a half. So it would work out with a lot of sustained damage that's both magic and physical.
Looking back at what I said before, we saw Clutch Gaming's upsets come from more than one member, more than 2 members, usually LirA, Febiven, and Apollo, all being able to come together very strong. Like I said, solo becomes that rock, but when those 3 can have a decent game, we're even seeing it here, much closer to start, things go well for Clutch. A fight in the bot side puts Hakuho in the fray for just a moment, and it's going to be a back and forth as he puts down Spirit's Refuge. Nice call back from Apollo as he sweeps the feathers out from under Fox, but no fight to continue. Oh, Smoothie actually standing forward, gets a double proc on the concussive blows. No bite down. Do they really want it or don't they? Who's going to decide whether they really want to fight? Summoners are down for most of the sides as we actually get a hold onto the game, and we'll see what the players are feeling as we were watching a bot lane fight almost kind of spark off there into toe-to-toe. So top has been a lot of pressure. Once again, it seems to be the name of the game. We as I said, we wondered if Huni would come back from being sick, if he would be in form, and the team's up there to give him the resources.
Yeah, and from what I'm seeing, pretty much everybody in the game just said, did you just have lag? So that explains that moment there.
The little bloop.
Yeah, it looked like Apollo, like that ultimate should have been a little bit earlier, and the pullback should have been available. So yeah, it seems like everybody just had a little bit of a hiccup there on stage, which definitely affects those moments where people are in engagements. So
for sure, you get that test. The moment you want to go. Oh, really? The moment I wanted to. No, I'm just kidding. But looking at, as I was saying before, Clutch Gaming has a much better start to this game. You look at Echo Fox's CSD at 15, plus 21.5 to -3.5 of Clutches. So that's a big, big difference that's kind of being closed in this game a little bit for Clutch. They're having a much better start. Still there in favor of Fox, obviously, from what we've seen, but Clutch almost needs to have these good early starts. They can't do with anything being behind in the early part of the game.
Yeah, and Clutch Gaming, they're still down though, 1.1k gold. The kills are 3 to 4, and there hasn't been even been a turret. This 1,000 gold is coming from some of that first blood, some of the assists that they have a little bit more of, and also the fact that they've been able to get some of those objectives like the Rift Herald, but also just CS across the board. Huni is up, Dardoch is up, Damonte is up, Lost is up. Everybody on the team, save for support, because I'm not going to count them.
Hey,
if
man.
you're taking CS, then you're a bad teammate unless you have Relic Shield. That's the only time. Just saying. But the people who should be getting CS, they're all ahead slightly across the board, which adds up a lot.
Looking on the mini-map right now, as we see the players, but there's good vision for Echo Fox all the way down to red side of what Clutch Gaming has on that bottom side of the map, but not too much towards that top side. They're kind of just leaving Huni and whoever goes up there for the moment. So we might see Dardoch start to focus a little bit more towards this bottom, maybe start to up that Drake percentage we talked about being around 58%, the second highest Drake percentage in the league going to Echo Fox. So maybe they'll focus there.
Yeah, because Dardoch likes to take those Drakes as soon as there's an opportunity. Somebody goes, kills Huni, then he's going to go pivot, go to the Drake, or if he's on that side of the map, counter gank and make a 2-on-2 happen. So we'll see what they end up doing in this game, because that Cassiopeia, I feel like you need to get it off the ground, you need to get it in the air, need to get it flying.
Yeah, well, they do have what looks like, or his jungle can be cleared on the bot side as he just took away top, so maybe we will see Dardoch doing that. Right now, we're going to go ahead and throw it over to the State Farm analyst desk to get a little discussion on the game.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. While the refs and league officials take a couple moments to investigate the issue on stage, we get to break down the game about 12 minutes in. This one much more competitive than the last, at least in the fact that Clutch Gaming has found a couple kills around the map. And so I kind of want to identify what it is that's going differently this time around than in that first game.
I think the first thing that stands out is just with this draft, how much more control and agency that they kind of have under their own hands. Like, you have Camille, which has made a lot of attempts, not all of them working out or connecting. LeBlanc has been able to roam the Urgot. So
Yeah, not all of them.
not any of them.
Hey, flashes have been blown.
Yeah. So
Kills have been picked up.
they have better tools in the early game to contest Echo Fox, and you see that they are still able to find kills because of that.
Right. I do think that I like what Clutch is doing. I think it's kind of what we were talking about in the previous segment about just trying something new. And it does look like their draft is pretty much just a player on topside draft because you got Shen support. That's almost always indicative of wanting to play top. Then they've got Camille, who, you know, he tried a level 2 gank. He did attempt it. He almost hit the E.
He almost hit it.
But, I mean, you can tell they're at least trying, right? And then Febi's on LeBlanc, which is a super strong pick right now. Very good playmaker. So I do like to see them switching it up.
Yeah, the start was not good, though, at all.
No.
That's not a good start to playing around top.
To playing on top, exactly. So the fact that they pulled it back to this point and it hasn't completely fallen apart is a bit of a good side for Clutch. But, I mean, just watching this, not only does he burn Flash, he also dies, but they get Huni's Flash. So that's why the Camille tried a level 2 Flash gank. That failed.
That should have worked, though.
It should have worked.
I do have to fault him on that one. That was a
And then
pretty big mistake.
Solo just being pushed up, like doing the enemy's Krugs or whatever he was doing was a little
peculiar.
aggressive. But like,
Yeah.
I do think that this is not a bad draft to try and beat Echo Fox with, where it's a lot of playing around topside. Huni plays a pretty volatile matchup where if things start going south, you can start diving that Cassio over and over. And they did turn one.
I was going to say, that was the not so great on the top side for Clutch Gaming. We do have to recognize what did work well for them, bringing LirA up, bringing Febiven up, pulling off the dive onto Huni, while on the bot side, Apollo was able to pick up a kill in a 1v2 under turret. And so, again, salvaging a lot of gold in that fashion, still behind a bit in the game, but much closer than it was last time, as we talked about, you know, a near 5K gold lead so early on in the game.
Going off what you said, I have to give Apollo a lot of props for that play he made there because that's one of the plays that does not feel good to make, and it doesn't make you look good. But I gotta point it out because what happened there is the Shen ult was going off to make the topside play, and Ashe had a clear line of sight to stop the Shen from ulting, and Apollo probably knew he would die if he took the arrow, but they needed the Shen ult. Because if the Shen ult didn't go off, they probably all would have died topside. So Apollo basically like had to sacrifice himself by walking into the Ashe arrow, and he played it really well. He was able to pick up a cross kill, and so I think that's a really good example of a player just being put in a hard situation, but making the team play, like sacrificing for the team, and overall it was still very good.
And I think that this is probably a better way to beat Echo Fox than trying to like attack the bot lane or something where like we'll let Huni run wild on top side and we'll run wild on bot side. I don't think that's actually the best way to do it. I think you get these kind of volatile Lucian Maokai things from when they failed in playoffs way back. I think if you put Huni in positions to fail and then actually force that to happen, that's a better way of beating like these kind of Huni-led teams.
I have an update on the situation at hand. Clutch Gaming has been offered a chrono break as Apollo experienced lag, which caused him to walk into the enemy team and therefore had to use his ultimate to return to safety, as that is a substantial spell. The chrono break, rather, has been offered and accepted. I will receive word on where exactly we're going in the game. I do want to toss it back over to you guys to continue the discussion. Hopefully it's not all the way back.
Way back
to level 1.
That's why I had to flash too, guys. Same thing happened to me. I just I couldn't back up.
I do think it's interesting, though, that, you know, Kobe had talked about maybe the importance of the bot lane for success in Clutch Gaming, but a lot of the focus in play has been around the top side for both teams. For Echo Fox on one side, this is a replay of what happened. We'll probably see it here. Yes, walking in and then having to use that to bounce back out.
Yeah, I don't think you want to run melee range on Braum, so I believe there was a little something funky going on.
It's tricky, though. Like, sometimes, I mean, I trust League Ops' call, but, like, if that was me playing Xayah, I probably would have just clicked in front of the person instead of clicking the champ because I don't use attack move, which wouldn't have worked that well. Double doesn't use attack move either.
Are you
by the way.
criticizing the player then?
I'm criticizing me.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought you were saying.
So-
I
so
wouldn't,
it-
I
yeah.
wouldn't have done
So
that.
in a hypothetical scenario, which has no bearing on
Yeah.
the situation at hand, Jat has an opinion, is
Right.
basically what just happened.
Yeah, like if that happened to me, I wouldn't
Right.
immediately think I lagged. I would
Yeah.
think I would have misclicked.
Oh,
But for like
okay.
a pro player who has more accuracy,
Right.
they're gonna think it's lag, and then they're gonna be able to prove it.
Gotcha.
Well, it's
Well,
on
we
the big
are
stage.
awarding the chrono break. It will go back to 11:55, so not too long in game time. We'll toss it back in just a moment. But again, as we talk about the development of this series in game, game one, EchoFox throws a lot of attention top. I think it's interesting that Clutch's response was to match it in game two or even over-index into pressure in the top side.
Well, if you remember that TSM series, that was kind of the miracle series for them. They actually lost that first game before ripping off 3 in a row back then as well. And so I think this could actually be a huge momentum game if they're able to kind of have a bad start, which I think also happened in that second game against TSM as well. They had a horrendous start, bounced back, won that game, and then rode that momentum all the way through the rest of the series. It'd be pretty amazing if that was what happened again here, because it does feel like they're not out of the game and only 1,000 gold down making plays.
I don't know, man. When Huni brings out Cassio top,
That's when you're like,
that's
we're,
the hammer.
Yeah.
Like that's how Huni finishes people.
I feel like if there's a Cassio top in the game, one team is going to tilt at the end of it.
Well, the last time, I mean,
One
has
top
Huni
laner
played
is
Cassio top since he was on a team with Febiven at MSI in 2015? I feel like that was the last time it happened.
I don't,
I've seen it in
I don't
scrims.
know
Yeah.
for sure.
You
He
sure
likes
it didn't
that.
happen somewhere
No, I'm not.
in the yeah, I was gonna
Missed
say
it
like
all.
I feel like somewhere in the
Yeah.
Immortals years.
For the
right?
sake of the story, let's say the last time he broke out Cassio
Yeah.
was in then.
And you got to be careful what you do with that, because not only you're trying to unlock old 2015 Huni, you might accidentally unlock 2015 Febiven, who, remember, as I mentioned, solo killed Faker.
He solo killed Faker.
Febiven hasn't had a solo kill all summer.
If
Maybe
you
you're
want,
trying to get back there.
if there's ever an accolade to have, it's that you solo killed Faker, not that you went
3
to the
years ago,
semifinals
yeah.
of the World Championship, which Irene did mention
I won a solo
as
queue
well.
game against Faker.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty
On
sweet.
which ping though?
60.
Yeah, so there you go. He just wasn't used.
All right.
It doesn't mean anything.
We're going to head to a quick
not used
commercial
to
break as we
I
give
don't
the
want
players and
60
teams
big.
a little bit more time to set up on stage and actually put that chrono break into effect. But we'll be right back to continue this second game of our best of 5 series in just a bit. We'll see you soon.
Welcome back to our first NA LCS Regional Qualifier. We're about to head back into Game 2 after a short pause. We've chrono braked back to
Either, I
about
think.
14 seconds to 11:55. We were at 12:09 during the pause, so not too much. And we are going to get back onto the Rift so these players can leave it all on the Rift.
Yep, and as you can see, Apollo not walking into the team this time, pretty much exactly the same events, and there they go.
Yeah. Now, can they replicate the same fight? No, I'm just kidding. But you cast Q here. So they will keep their distance as much as possible here. The minions start to reset in the lane, and we are back into game. 4-3, if you remember on the scoreboard, with that 1,000 gold lead here for EchoFox, with a lot of that love towards the top side, and it seems like that won't stop anytime soon.
Yep.
LirA here, stand united once again. A little bit of rinse and repeat for Clutch Gaming. We've seen this before. Huni to the other side now. Spirit's Refuge is out there for Hakuho's damage, but they still take down Huni, and that's a kill for Febiven. 2-0 now.
Definitely made him work for it, though. Used the ultimate.
Oh, yeah.
Made sure that, he couldn't close the gap entirely. And that's actually a lot of resources dedicated to killing Huni. And we'll see if they get anything on this bottom side here for Fox. That was a great dive for Clutch Gaming. They're playing to their win condition of shutting down that Cassio, who has no flash and is an easy kill.
And like Medio said earlier, there's almost more of kind of a sacrifice happening here. Apollo knows he's going to be alone, but everything is going in Clutch's favor against that top lane now, against Huni.
Yeah, making sure that they just kind of make it so you don't see this pick pretty standard at all. And there's a reason why. It's easily punished with CC, and the Shen going to the top side. Hakuho, he's pretty much on cooldown going over and over again.
Yeah, from what we thought we would see on Huni, they have filed down his fangs quite quickly. You can see Solo talking to one of the refs on your screen here as we get a quick pause back into the game. And nothing really going on that bot lane as Summoners come back up. I think everybody in general the first time wanted to stay safe, but we're still waiting on core items as we come up on 15 minutes. I think our next backs will give us that. We might see a little bit more of that fighting for EchoFox's high dragon percentage, or Clutch even trying to get another Drake for themselves early in the game.
Yep, and he disconnected, probably reconnecting here. I would assume it's something to do with when the Chrono break happens. Sometimes spells look a little different, and it's not always just 100% right off the bat. I think we saw it before back when we Chrono broke Gragas very early on, and then it was like somebody's Nidalee or Gragas spells were locked for a bit. But anyway, yep, reconnects, and we'll see if he's all good to go here. But his lane, he's now 1-3-2. He's at that 1 KDA now, and still 1,300 gold behind after that kill comes out. So the kill didn't actually give them an advantage at all here in terms of money. It just made the Cassiopeia not be somebody who receives any of that gold. And it looks like everybody's just saying that they're ready. And we're going to have an unpause here in just a second as Solo back on after the reconnect.
See Febiven return to his lane after this kill towards the top side. He's feeling pretty good. Full corrupting potion, starting to stack that seal as well.
Yeah, the 4-stack Dark Seal. We'll see what he's able to do on this LeBlanc.
Yeah.
Medios was talking about it. Great playmaker. And Jat was talking about it. 0 solo kills for Febiven this split.
It's kind of crazy.
It is actually very crazy because you always kind of knew him as somebody who liked those assassins, who could play the Azir and the control mages incredibly well on top of it. But it's just been, it's always just kind of goes to show that mid laners really do need help to set things up a lot of the time. And when solo kills happen, they're just that much more special because they shouldn't be happening every single game.
Absolutely. Yeah, it'd be a great game, but something would be kind of drastically wrong if solo kills were happening every game. You definitely know where to look, that's for sure. 4-4, as you said, the equalizer in kills didn't exactly equalize that gold, so the economy is still in favor of EchoFox here. Trying for a cheeky taunt through the wall as Dardoch was on the heels of Febiven in that mid lane. Looks like things kind of slow down for a moment, but there's still pressure hovering on Huni all game long. He can try to be as slippery as possible, but he is getting attention.
Yep. And I wonder what his forward percentage is this game because honestly, he normally plays very far up. We're talking like 44% forward percentage for this guy, where he spends the majority of his time on the other side of the river. But this game, he's just been under turret. They see Dardoch on the bottom side of the map. Damonte is now coming up from mid. He's sacrificing mid lane to get in range to like use his ultimate just in case an ultimate comes out from LirA.
Dardoch still hovering around. I think that was the red buff able to be grabbed. Yeah, so it's going to be LirA on red right now. Dardoch hovering towards bottom, so they might try to get a gank, but LirA is starting to be able to kind of read where Dardoch is. This was huge for EchoFox game 1 because Dardoch was all over LirA, and LirA couldn't do anything. So big change here in that core of LirA, Febiven, and Apollo are starting to get going.
And look at that. There's that Rift Herald going down on mid lane. Gonna deal a decent chunk to that turret. But also, they already got that first turret on the bottom side of the map there because we saw Hakuho has left the lane multiple times, and that's going to be Lost and Smoothie being able to pick up that first turret bottom, and then immediate rotation there from Dardoch to put down the Rift Herald and get them 2 turrets and give them about 1,700 gold lead for EchoFox.
Yeah, those bursts of gold are absolutely huge. Just trying to see what they have in their pockets now. Almost everybody on the Rift has over 1,000 gold to spend. So we might see things be a bit tempered here until that can happen, or maybe one last hurrah before you do get that buy-in.
Yep.
It's always a fun choice to make. Looks like one last hurrah for Clutch Gaming. They're all over Lost and Smoothie towards this bot side of the map. A little bit of pressure has Huni pushed up, so he wouldn't be able to teleport as much. He does leave turret range, though, not knowing what's happening.
Yeah, and here comes Dardoch towards his blue buff here. Sees that LirA is there, going to sweep.
Oh, who takes it? Oh no, I think he thought he would dodge. Apollo gets knocked up, and Apollo's going to be going down. Featherstorm tries to rain on Fox's Parade, but they lock down the kill, and that one goes over to Dardoch.
Yeah, it looked like he didn't have to maybe use the Featherstorm there. He thought he was going to be just a little bit above it, but that Ashe Arrow hitbox just able to clip him just barely, and I assume this is going to be a Shen ultimate into another dive.
Oh, here comes, however, the heroic entrance. They're going to try to help him out. Huni getting the shots down on a solo, and he could take him out. The turret shot doesn't take down solo.
He's dead.
Febiven is dead as the last one connects, and it's going to be a chase from Damonte. Yes, it is actually going to be LirA coming up. They get a good hook shot onto Damonte. Ultimatum down, and it looks like they're going to be able to lock down that kill. Beautifully done as EchoFox reacting, but Clutch Gaming getting a bit of the better of that.
Yep, and that was Damonte saying, I know that they're going to go for this again, is in position to use the ultimate. They get a counter kill, but then LirA showing up turns it and ends up being a 1-for-2 in favor of Clutch Gaming.
kind of ready for it. They say, well, they've done this play on Huni so many times. I think we know how to stop it this time.
Yeah. The cleanse came out there. I like that swap there from Solo. He used the unsealed spellbook to swap the cleanse right before the engage. It actually, I believe, ends up saving him here. But Febiven is the one who gets turret aggro next, not Hakuho the tank. And it ends up having him die. And I believe Febiven actually gives over some shutdown gold on that too, being 3-1-1 after that.
You're right. As well, the seal goes bye-bye too.
Yeah, loses some stacks on it. He gives over 600 gold to Damonte.
Wow. That's going to feel good for him, especially so he can stay in front of the fights and start to absorb. Has he spent it? It looks like he has. Just some boots, his lost chapter, and his rod now stacking up at 5. Onto the map, it comes Dardoch from base, and we're just waiting for LirA to head out at this point.
So 2 and 1 as Cassiopeia. Oh, hold on.
Oh, that looks quite painful. Febiven takes one more Fang. Looks like Huni's trying to make that 3-1 on that score record.
After all this time, Huni comes out of the bush, kills his old teammate that he made the semifinals of Worlds with in a solo kill. Talk about Febiven has 0 solo kills this split. Rack another one up for Huni right now.
Depends on what end of the solo kills you're looking at it from.
And it's called isolated deaths.
That's true. Isolated deaths is the term we use for getting taken down by yourself. That was one for Febiven. And right now he's having a difficult time finding those waves to push out. He can't be LeBlanc in the side lane, so the team can start to work the yo-yo defense back and forth. Echo Fox is just all forward, and right now that's damage onto the top tier turret. They back off for a moment here. Lost and Smoothie look like they'll stay for a bit.
Yeah, I like what Echo Fox did lane assignment-wise. They got that bottom turret, they got the mid turret, they had the Drake, and then they swapped the lanes. And you see their top turret on Echo Fox's side was very close to dying. It's very close to dying because that's where Clutch Gaming had focused. And found him that time. The snake in the bush only works once. Let's see here. For Dardoch.
Ooh, Paulo Featherstorm is out, but they take him down immediately as the bot side of the map is really going down. Nice job by Febiven. He takes out Huni. He says, I'm going to get this back.
Yep, that was a 2-on-1, but he still gets a counter kill. And now Echo Fox are going to go towards that Baron. See, Febiven's on the bottom side. There's no potential for a smite steal because LirA's dead. This is up to Solo and Hakuho.
How much do they want it, though? That was a for sure turn for Echo Fox. They knew that was something they wanted to do if Baron was tempted by Clutch Gaming, and Echo Fox say, no kill. We just kind of wanted to skirt around the death there for a moment. 9-7 is 20 minutes on the clock hit. Why not try to pressure Baron at 20 minutes if you're already this strong?
Yeah, and then they're going to rotate and go towards that Ocean Drake and pick that one up for themselves. Right here, Huni, LirA checked it, turn with the ward in the bush, and then just unloads damage on him. Gets the solo kill onto LirA. That's 2 solo kills for Huni in this game right off the bat there.
That's one of those fights where you're like, no, I didn't need help. He was just there.
1v1 me, man. Yeah, those are the ones where you get a little salty, but at the same time,
Feels good. Gotta
feels
get it back.
great when you're able to pull multiple people towards your lane. And you can see now he has the Zhonya's Hourglass, something that a lot of Cassiopeias actually forego in their build early, especially. But because he was up against Solo and he's going to get ganked by LirA, it's a lot of physical damage that'll come his way. So I actually really like this item build path from him. It makes him very tanky. And you can see he's got some more HP on the way.
So much clearing for Huni. It's actually, I was going to say, be pretty bored as a side laner in this one, but not this game. There has been action in the side lane the whole time. Damonte will start to clear top. And it looks like mid may get pushed down here if this wave comes in and no rotation from Apollo comes in. Solo's taking damage from Huni and Dardoch on the bot side of the map, and it looks like he will go down very quick after that fight. Dardoch picks up another one, 4-1-2 on his second play of Olaf this series.
Yeah, and he has been doing a lot of work in this series across the board. Dardoch, actually this entire split, when they started talking about, hey, the Huni-Dardoch combo in spring, it looked like, yeah, it was definitely a big combo. But this was one during summer that Dardoch was doing a lot of heavy lifting in it. He was playing the Kindreds, the Graves, and there were multiple times where it looked like he was just going to have a really great season and be considered the best jungler for all pro votes. I believe he ended up number 2 behind Smithy because just a few of his games at the end there kind of took him out of the running in a lot of people's minds, but he has just been fantastic all split long.
And for Dardoch, as we said before, we haven't seen him this regular season on the Olaf. obviously plays it, but what a way to come in here in the NA Regional and kind of just put down the powerhouse play on this champion. 139 CS to 112 for LirA. And LirA's been trying to stay very active this game, still falling behind.
Yeah, falling behind, but he's getting those flashes. And Huni.
Huni ready to start a fight 3v1 so the team can recoup and reinforce with him. They are able to take down LirA as he comes out of the jungle, and the rest of Clutch Gaming is forced back. Is there a pick here looking for Febiven as he seems to hide off in the wing, hoping he'll find one person, but I don't think he's going to get the straggler he's looking for.
It's going to be so hard with the Galio there. He'll just hold down the taunt. If he can snap cast that catch you, you're going to die.
He's got to time this. He's got to think. Hakuho is going to be his eyes right now. If he can get in, he just needs to clip the edge of that. Ward goes over. They are actually hitting the ward, giving vision over to Febiven. That was kind of scary for a moment. He gets himself out safely. Solo disdains in. Doesn't really get any flip on anyone, but they are still going to back out. Fox says, we just want Baron. No fight. No fight.
Yep. That's a 23-minute Baron for them. 6,000 gold advantage for Echo Fox, almost 7. And there's a TP back mid from Huni here just to keep himself out on the map. Now has the haunting, guys.
What, another TP?
Yeah, jumping on Huni is just, I think it's Smoothies, right? Yeah. It's a summoner spell TP to get him out on the map.
Yep.
From the unsealed spell book. And right here, like, when I'm looking at Huni's build, it's so hard and
LirA solo, he flashes into the wall, he gets taken down even with the Sterix gauge coming up for a little bit of HP. That was gonna keep him alive. The sun was in his eyes on the escape.
That is 3 solo kills for Huni in this game.
It's ridiculous.
He is absolutely unstoppable in a 1v1 on this Cassiopeia. He has the Archangel staff. He has the Zhonya's Hourglass. He hasn't had to use the Zhonya's at all this game.
There's so many hot moments for Huni, but there are low ones. I asked before if people maybe just figured him out, if that's the reason this split, that things weren't coming around for him. But any given Sunday, any given game, Huni just becomes Huni again, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's the kind of player he is. Well, right now, Echo Fox is knocking on the front door of the first inhibitor turret. 12-7 at 25 minutes. That inhibitor turret goes down, and now they are on the inhibitor. Looks like they might look for somewhat of a fight. LirA getting close. Febiven in for an AoE damage distortion. And it looks like they are out. Bot side might be on the menu, though. Damonte's top, and he can always get a hero's entrance into the fight if they need him. Solo, 2 more hits. Locked up by concussive blows. Does not go down, but Clutch Gaming cannot take these fights if they're taking half of their health bars first before even being able to kind of assess and engage.
Well, they don't really have wave clear either, and up against the Baron buff becomes even more of an issue where it's very prevalent, right? Febiven has to go jump in to actually clear minion waves. Apollo is kind of the pass-through damage, but if you move up with your tanks, because you have about 2, maybe 3 tanks in the composition for Echo Fox. Oh, wait, where's the ulti from Solo?
1 hit, Solo gets himself out with the E, and now they're just trying to kind of stop Fox, play the mind games here that won't do too much, but give them room, or Clutch Gaming, I should say, on their own side of the map.
Yep, and Echo Fox, 26 minutes in, at an 11,000 gold lead. Another game where it just looks like they're going to reset, potentially get the Infernal. We'll see this one more time here from Huni. He sees LirA clear it, the flash ulti.
Oh, word.
And then LirA can't do anything about this. He has to walk forward. That Miasma keeps up against the wall. He can't flash until he's there. It doesn't even flash the wall. And Dardoch, he's reformed, I swear. But
It's internal. You can laugh and try.
that was an external.
Visually.
Yeah, okay. But definitely having a ball here. He has been running all over LirA this game in terms of pathing, in terms of helping his team out. But that's another kill for Huni, where Dardoch, definitely you got to feel good about that one, because Huni got camped all game. He got multi-man dove multiple times, and he has 3 solo kills in this game. If Huni gets 2 more solo kills, he ties Bjergsen for most solo kills this split at 12. Huni started this game at 7. He's now at 10. So he's almost added on 100. He's almost added on 50% more.
You can always hope to get the best of a worse situation. Huni gets dove by 3, he stalls 2 out. The team's able to get there to recuperate something and get something back off of it. This is the kind of play you get out of Huni on the top side. Very hard to defeat, at least in these best of 5 scenarios. Huni can just lay down the power. Clutch once again pushed into their base on that last front doorstep of their last inhibitor turret. It falls. The super minions are going to be pouring in mid and bottom here. Solo over the wall by himself. The team has to help him. LirA tries to get the hook shot in. They're going to be able to drop down Smoothie right away, but they lose LirA as Hero's entrance comes in. Lost falls. And now there's not as much damage for Echo Fox to make their way into the base. They've gotten the structures they wanted, minus that last inhibitor.
Yeah, they wanted that last
Nexus
inhib.
turret.
And
Oh, man. Hell of a super minion. Well played.
yep, ends up going down. The Infernal Drake is up. I think Huni and Dardoch will take care of that. We'll see this one more time. Febiven gets access to the back line here. He goes in, and then Smoothie throws ultimate at the side. Febiven snaps back, keeps his chain on Dardoch for a moment, but then he's able to dodge the CC. And then right here, LirA goes in. Febiven double distorts onto the back line, kills Lost, snaps back, and the Ignite finishes him off there before Damonte can actually land. And I love that there where he's able to get in, get out, and it's 6-2-1 for Febiven. You look at his score line, and then you look at the rest of the team, and you're like, it has been a rough game for him on this LeBlanc here. Finding opportunities, finding openings.
Yeah.
Has been difficult.
And you have to think if anybody else kind of on the map can participate in those, is still alive to get some of those kills, how much better they would be doing.
Wow.
All the what ifs. It's so easy to answer if it just happened. Huni, again, the entire game, 23,986.
They camped him!
Was top damage last game on the Ornn with 13,100 damage. Absolutely absurd here, and they're going to head towards the top side.
They camped him! They camped him, Riv!
It was recreational. He was having fun.
That's so much damage to be dishing out when you just got destroyed in the early part of the game. He was able to get kills on solo in that level 1. And imagine if that didn't happen, this guy, he would still be in a situation where he's still dishing out a lot of damage. The consistency that he has found with his Cassiopeia now, 2 levels up, able to dish it out. First person to hit level 18 in the game.
And you consider there's decently big health bars, but he's not chewing through tanks. He is delivering damage to each and every person on the side of Clutch Gaming.
Yeah, and you can see things like the adaptive helm now in for solo.
Yeah.
So he'll be able to actually reduce some of that damage, but like you said, the tanky, they're not tanky tanks. They're just regular tanks.
Just a little bit of padding. 30 minutes on the clock here. Just
Yeah.
about, what was it, 2.5 minutes ago, the first game had ended. So Clutch Gaming is holding strong in their base. One more inhibitor gives them some more room to play with on the map, but it becomes much scarier the farther they get from their base. Any fight could mean the game is over in favor of Echo Fox here.
And 2.5 minutes ago, like you said, the previous game had ended, but 2.5 minutes ago, that's where Echo Fox were pushing for that top inhibitor for the third one. They weren't able to get it. Now, all the inhibitors have respawned. This is where Clutch Gaming have to make some sort of stand here. If they can get the Baron, if they can get some kills.
Solo looking at Huni first, 2,600 on to Baron now as Huni's going low. Baron not healing just yet, but nobody's going to keep the focus on. Huni gets out along with Dardoch as the fight between Solo and the rest of the team on the bot side. Or sorry, Apollo on the bot side. Oh, he goes down. And Lost will now be looking to fire in from the side. Hero's entrance knocks up Febiven's ghost. mirror image. But he gets out as well, and Clutch Gaming is in such chaos, they cannot figure out a way back into the fight. So much AoE crowd control coming from the Braum, coming from the Galio, does not let Clutch move.
Yeah, they tried to get in there, and that looked like a great Zhonya's Hourglass from Huni. He was able to dodge the ultimate from Solo. Pretty early ulti, mostly for the slow there,
Yep.
but it would have been enough to kind of slow him down, prevent him from getting out of that fight. And now Echo Fox, with these death timers, they're going to go and get some of this base, but there's only one turret with the Nexus. Question is, can they act? Yeah, they're just trying to stop him from getting in there and clearing the wave. They need to buy time, they need to distract the minions, but Echo Fox, they have the game in the sights.
Oh, huge damage from that distortion of Febiven coming in, but Cat doesn't have a follow-up. Apollo's there, throws out the feathers and tries to pull him right out from under. Fox, unstoppable here in the Ragnarok for Dardoch as he is only going for the Nexus. It does not look like they'll have the damage. He gets suppressed, he gets taken down. Fear of the death takes him out, and they will be able to drop Smoothie as well. I mean, Damonte, they will move out of the base here, and Clutch has a few more moments to stay alive here in Game 2.
They stay alive by the skin of their teeth. This is your Acer Predator replay, and it happens to have Febiven's first solo kill of the entire split. Gets the ultimate out of Huni. That clears LirA to kind of bait them to the side, and then Febiven leaps in here saying last-ditch effort, flash, distortion, double distort, gets the electrocute,
Yep.
kills Huni, and it's just been back and forth. That was his first solo kill of the entire split there for Febiven. He has had a fantastic game, 7-3-3, this is the scoreline. And now, Clutch Gaming, after defending this, after the ultimate from solo, they are on the Baron, and they are going to get the Baron live here.
They have just taken it. You can see some that mistake. No mental boom here for Echo Fox, obviously, but a little bit of a whoopsie, which should be able to happen soon here again. We may just see somebody try to get in there and take down that Nexus.
Well, they have inhibitors to knock down still, so I think it'll be, without the teleport from Huni, potential for a 4-1 where they go down mid and bottom, or where they go towards top and mid. But right now, Fox are going to have to... This is that crucial breaking point in the game, where you go, do we just go ham and try to end the game down mid, or do we actually need to just go back to the drawing board, reset? It'll take multiple minutes, but their gold advantage is not as much as it was just a moment ago. Great cleanse there from Solo.
Somewhat to safety, has the Righteous Glory if the team needs to enter back into this fight. A lot of what Clutch has used, though, is kind of to bluff Fox, and they aren't buying it. We saw right on the top inhibitor, Solo tried to come in for the side. Damonte just waited until the overall fight to ult in. They almost are waiting for Clutch to say, engage, and Echo Fox has the upper hand. But they also have the choice to start the fights themselves. A very good position here for Echo Fox, the favored team coming into this first NA regional matchup, as Clutch looks to bite back a little bit. Mid turret will go down in their favor. Disdain from Solo puts him in a very dangerous position as he tries to flip back a member of Echo Fox. And it looks like Ragnarok on from Dardoch. He'll try to get himself right into the fray. Apollo firing feathers back. Feather Storm comes out, and now he's in range for the undertow. Reckless swing coming in from Dardoch. Strikes him down from the heavens. Solo low, but it looks like he'll be able to purge the damage. No, he goes down as well as Huni sinks his fangs in once again. Echo Fox making their way down mid lane, and this could be the game.
Yep, that's a clean ace there. Definitely the game. 5-0 for Echo Fox. Took them a little bit longer than the last one, but they're going to go up 2-0 in the first game of the regional qualifier.
Taking down the Nexus, gotta feel good. Just about 7 minutes more than game number 1, but Echo Fox on course to take this series.
Echo Fox came in. This team, they always come back angrier after they ended up losing their last match. You go back to, you think of the times that Huni has lost a semifinals, right? Comes into the third, fourth place match, smashes whoever he's up against, whether it was Clutch, whether you go back to his Immortals days, and it's like, well, we're playing against CLG. It's like, well, let's just smash them really quickly. So they always come back with a vengeance, something to prove. And here, this is the first time they've been on stage since losing to TSM in 5 games. So they definitely want revenge. This is their last ditch effort. This is the last time that they can qualify for Worlds here in 2018 and make it all worthwhile.
And this is the kind of Huni we saw at the beginning of summer, where we would say, holy moly, this guy's so versatile.
Role swaps.
How do you attack a guy like this? Huni himself, when asked by Avali, how long will it take you to play all 5 positions? He said 5 games. I feel like that's the kind of Huni we're getting here again for Echo Fox, and it's showing. Very confident. Game 2 goes the way of Echo Fox, and to hear how it happened, let's throw it back to the analyst desk.
Thank you very much, Riv. Another win in the books for Echo Fox, pushing the series score to 2-0. This one, however, not coming quite as easily as the first one, although I'd still say solidly in the Echo Fox camp. Only Febiven really having something to say about the moves that Echo Fox would make around the map.
Yeah, and I was honestly disappointed with the level that Clutch was playing it on like a mechanical sense, where there was, like we talked already about the Camille E's coming up short time and time again. Apollo was late on some of his Xayah ultimates, and there's nothing I hate more than seeing this giant blue arrow just beelining for you, and it hits when you have a button that stops that from happening.
You're talking about the one in the tri-bush, right?
I'm talking about the one in the tri-bush. I'm talking about that kind of
stuff. There was
stuff.
definitely a chance that arrow didn't hit. I can't hate him for that.
I hate it.
Okay.
It's like, get out of there. There's a number of those kinds of plays that happen that, for me, took what could have been a closer game and made it not very close, because I don't think you saw quite the same mistakes coming out of them. This one, of course, was the good body block that Medios was talking about to allow the play on the top side to get out, and then he was able to fight it out.
Bless his heart.
Yeah, not a play you want to make, but a play you have to make, and is able to get the trade kill there. Baron's picked up, though, for Echo Fox.
This is one where Medios and I were talking about how people were playing. Oh, it's already happened, where people were just like going in late. The Camille was just ulting someone on the top side. Here,
mechanical misplay
the
here.
fail flashes into walls. Like, you might be dead anyways, but you don't want to see that. Both Apollo and him had flashes into walls later on in the game. Like, It's just stuff that when you're watching, you can see they're not playing cleanly, and it would have been a tough series if they were.
Right, and I do think you're right that, Clutch isn't playing particularly well mechanically, and I do think a lot of times that can just come back to, like, if you have an uncomfortable team atmosphere, like I was talking about before, a little bit like maybe their trust isn't there. I think it can make players uncomfortable, and you're just naturally going to play worse. So to me, I think some of that's happening within Clutch, for sure.
Now, that goal graph is what, says to me that there is very much still the Echo Fox, the things that we attribute to Echo Fox in that they can throw leads back, because there were moments throughout this game with tons of control that they perhaps could have closed the game either more cleanly and quicker, and they still found some of those situations where they're handing kills back, not to the degree that they'd lose this game too. But it gets dangerous, Jat, as we track the success of this team and the idea that they'll be facing a TSM and a Cloud9 to follow.
Yeah, I don't think that Echo Fox has turned this massive corner and now they're going to be the dominant team that goes there, but they're doing exactly what they have to do to be clutch. I like the fact that they pulled out the Cassiopeia top against an Urgot to at least make people think about that matchup now that Urgot is so firmly in the meta. And yes, they had that throw. They've done that about 18 other times this split, so I don't think it's going to worry them too much. I think they're playing pretty well.
Yeah, without a doubt. Talk about that Urgot pick a little bit, because it is the first time we're seeing it here in North America, but it has been high priority in other regions for quite some time now. So I just want to maybe identify a little bit of why it's coming in, and then in particular where the Cassiopeia comes from.
Well, you go.
I personally don't know where Urgot comes from, and I've talked to a lot of people, and everyone kind of has the same opinion. It's like, yeah, Urgot's getting played everywhere. Why? And then everyone's like, because he's getting played, so other people play him.
Yeah,
And
he's
it's
good.
Like everyone's trying the unsealed spellbook on him, and Urgot's been having a lot of success, so definitely a strong champion. But North America has struggled with playing well. And
Just across the board.
Wow.
What a blanket statement.
Let's narrow that in a little bit.
it's one of our weaknesses as a region. We do a lot of stuff great.
Playing well.
Playing well's not always one of them.
It's a regional weakness.
But I will say that maybe we don't pick up Urgot as fast as the other regions, so maybe all the NA players haven't practiced as much Urgot. In our defense, learn how to play champion on 60 ping, and then try playing him on live. It's bad.
To circle back to the Urgot a little
bad.
bit, conventionally there are some strong things. There's always like the flavor of the month juggernaut in a sense that people like playing into a lot of other bruisers and tanks that it just does better against. So it's a strong blind in that sense where a lot of things right now are melee tanks in the top side. You don't really see many range matchups. Even Kennons are not that great, maybe a Gnar, but like the Cassio's a counter to that. And Huni, if anyone's going to have something prepared for a melee bully, it'll be Huni with a ranged Cassio.
Yeah, my assessment on Urgot is more along the lines of it being a Darius replacement. There's a lot of tanks in the top lane. Darius is a great pick into tanks. He wasn't necessarily cutting it. Apparently, Urgot can, because they're both juggernauts with medium range and tankiness in team fights.
There's also the fact that Urgot gets flexed mid a decent amount in other regions, and we haven't seen that yet. Well, mostly just because we haven't seen much Urgot. But it is, that can tie into the strength of a champion, is the ability to like flex it around, which makes your draft a lot stronger.
Yeah, the Urgot versus Victor was the craziest one to me when I saw it, because like we've actually seen Darius mid, but it was into Renekton, it was into Aurelia. It was never against a ranged champion, which was the weirdest thing to me. So I wonder if a slightly better start to that game and Urgot actually can beat the Cassiopeia. Urgot does have a dash, which is a big thing that a lot of juggernauts don't have.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they were relatively close to executing what that game plan should have been, which is camp and dive top a lot. And some of the Galio ults were late, some were on time. It was back and forth, but then you factor in all the other kind of random deaths that happened, the level 1-1, the Krugs one, the short on the Camille E, and you think if Clutch can clean that kind of stuff up, that's why I thought this approach overall made sense.
Right, remove some unnecessary deaths, clean up the mechanics, and perhaps that game starts to go, a little bit more in Clutch's favor. Echo Fox has elected to go back to blue side here for the third game with side choice. No substitutions coming in, really no surprises there. I assume for Echo Fox, it's more of the same. Stay aggressive as we expect them to play. And then for the side of Clutch, they gave us a different look, right? We asked to see new champions. They're pulling out the Urgot. And so it feels to me that it comes down to now just execution, right? I'm sure there's still another look they could give us and maybe cheese something else out. But ultimately, if you bring in these new picks, you still have to play them to the top tier level.
Right, and I like that they brought in new picks. I thought it was a complete 180 from what they did game 1, which I like. They play a lot more aggressive, but I think that Clutch as a team, they don't have that much practice playing around top lane because, you know, when you go up against Echo Fox, I don't think it's a surprise by now that Echo Fox is a top lane focused team. And so you have a couple ways to respond to it. You can either try to match their pressure, which Clutch did, but you could just tell like they didn't have as much experience doing it. Echo Fox knows how to do it better because you would see like every time that Clutch would make a play on top, they would have to send so many people. And at some point, like, you're just overcommitting. If you send 4 people, you lose so many minion waves to farm just for 1 kill. Like, you're not even getting a turret, no objectives. Like, that's not really worth it.
Kobe's lengthy win conditions said that Clutch Gaming needs to send LirA to the mid and bot side of the map. Maybe they'll switch things up here in game 3.
I would love to see them play around bottom. I feel like Clutch does so well when their bot lane works with LirA. Like, Solo and Febiven just kind of chill because it doesn't seem like they have that great of coordination with LirA. So I want to see them play around bot lane, like maybe put Hakuho back on Thresh or something because that's what he's done so well with in the past. And I think if they try something like that, maybe they've got a shot.
It's also potentially the last game of the year.
For them.
Who knows what's going to happen in the offseason as well with that roster. So if you go out with a bang.
Right.
Don't pick the same stuff again.
They want a quick vacation, get back on Azeroth.
Oh, my goodness. They got to turn it around
Go out with
here,
the bang.
ladies and gentlemen. Echo Fox are 1 win away from knocking Clutch out of World's contention. See if Clutch can keep the series alive when we return.
Gotta get those turtles to the water, man.
Ooh.
I think he's dead.
No. Oh, he gets purged. Oh, it doesn't matter. He takes W first and still goes down. He's going for solo. Reckless Swings comes down as he's on a Febiven now. Healing as well, and he might stay alive in this endeavor, but he goes down as Febiven distorts to safety.
Let me TP back. Let me TP back.
Okay. I'm ulting.
Urgot.
Urgot. Can anybody help? Okay. I'm fine. We got him.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
I can taunt 3.
We can go Baron after. Yeah. Nice.
Go to Baron.
Strikes him down from the heavens. Solo low, but it looks like he'll be able to purge the damage. No, he goes down as well as Huni sinks his fangs, and once again, Echo Fox making their way down mid lane, and this could be the game.
The sub above difference is daily, not shredded last night or baked yesterday afternoon. Good ingredients, prepped fresh every day. Because that's what daily means. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Welcome to Level Up, presented by State Farm. At times, it can be hard to decide whether your team should go for Baron or another objective when you have an advantage. So this week, we wanted to compare gold values to help inform your team's decision. First off, taking down Baron gives your team 1,525 gold. That's approximately 2 inner turrets worth of gold before you even use the turret taking buff. Keep that in mind when the option of taking a turret or taking Baron is on the table. Next, there's the AD and AP gain from Baron, which scales up as the game progresses. For example, at 30.5 minutes, Baron buff gives a needlessly large rod amount of AP, and at 34 minutes, Baron buff offers a BF sword worth of AD. Just remember, there's always a risk when tempting fate at Baron, but the reward can quite literally be the stat difference you need to win the game.
Rated T for teen.